Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? You see, there's no excuse for you not pushing yourself to the next level. In order for you to create a new you must have a new mindset. When teams come together, we can create things that are greater than the sum of all of their parts. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to seven, and the creator of what is going to be the #1 most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, it's December. December is here, 2020. Dope, and I should probably change that on the board. Sorry about that. That's better. Today is Tuesday. That's right. Today is Tuesday, December 1st, 2020. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Tuesday, December 1st, 2020. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most, of this absolutely incredible, incredible day. I see some amazing names and faces in here already this morning. What's up, Adam Aarons? Great to see you, sir. Such an honor and a privilege to be running with you. What's up, Josh? Oh, that's right. We haven't busted out one of those in a little while. Josh O, I see you in here this morning as well. Great to see you. Yes, listen, yesterday we learned, yesterday here on hashtag Rise and Grind, we learned a new word called Ubuntu. I want you to say that with me this morning. We're going to say it probably all week. Ubuntu. And what it means is I am because you are. And you see what this is actually a philosophy. It's a philosophy of oneness, that you and I are connected, like deeply, at the roots. You and I are connected in such a beautiful and harmonious way. I want you to think of a symphony, right? How every single instrument plays its part and how together it's an incredibly beautiful thing. We've also, we also have an example of the largest organism that's here on Earth, right? The largest organism of all time. It's this thing called Pando. And Pando is a perfect example of this. You see, Pando is 47,000 genetically identical trees that on the surface, this group looks like a bunch of individual trees on the surface, but actually underneath at the roots, it's all connected. 100% connected. It is one living organism that just looks like more. That's what Ubuntu speaks to. I am because you are. What happens to you matters to me. We are all connected. It's absolutely beautiful. You see, this month here on hashtag Rise and Grind, I'm going to take you on a journey. We're going to travel through different cultures and take a look at the wisdom and things that we can learn as we travel the globe and tap into people that maybe look different than us. People that maybe talk different than us. People that have different belief systems than us. Our plan is to take this trip around the world and ultimately hope to enlighten you and to enlighten me and to help us all see and understand that we are connected through Ubuntu. That what happens to you happens to me. And that if we can come together and understand that really the human race is just one large, massive organism, that's not so much a whole bunch of individuals, but in reality, the whole. That we are connected in ways that can't be seen on the surface, but ultimately can be seen at the roots. This week specifically, we're diving into African American culture, which has been super, super fun to learn about. I'm learning things that I had no idea, right? I'm learning how little I've learned when it comes to African American culture, some of the belief systems, and so on and so forth. But it's just an amazingly beautiful culture and so many lessons. And I love this idea of Ubuntu. I hope that you do too. So we're going to continue to dive into that today and this week. It's absolutely fascinating what we can learn. But before we get too deep, before I go too far down the rabbit hole, you know what we got to do. That's right. We got to do some dancing. And since we're doing some African culture, we got to have some African music, right? That's how that works. For those of you that know, and those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. That's right. I need you to hit that share button, because I believe if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you to hit that share button. That's right. This is also the part of the show where I want to say good morning to you, and I want you to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, say what's up. I'll say what's up back. How you doing, Julio Soto? What's up, Janelle Griego? Tabitha's in the house. Rick Tamburino. Don Sankey's up in here. What's up, Michael Guthrie? Tina Bacon. Kim Fair. Do me a favor. Hit that like button. Hit that heart button. Hit that smiling button. Whichever button you want to hit, however you're feeling this morning. That's how you and I can connect, right? Through the interwaves. When I see your hearts and your likes and your smiles, it energizes me, and you and I can connect on a deeper level. I absolutely love it. What's up, Nathaniel Banks? How you doing? Emily Galler, great to see you. Rick Tamburino, Mr. Mike Higdon, Brad Smith's up in here, John Coltonborn, Kevin Fadley, Jess Gentry, Son Jones, Wendy Reeves, James Gavin, Karen Simpson, Joan Goebel, Bradley Silver, Martin Haggard, great to see you again in here this morning. Day 2, I believe, for Martin Haggard. What's up, Linda LeBond? We've got Tabitha Wells is in the house. All kinds of peeps here on hashtag Rise and Grind. Dude, love it. Hey, yesterday was Cyber Monday or Cyber Week or something like that. And I was looking in my planner, all right? Hashtag Rise and Grind planner. And there was a quote by this incredible woman named Natalie Phillips. And it happened to be Natalie Phillips's birthday yesterday. But I saw her quote this morning, and I wanted to share it with you because I thought it was really powerful. It says, "You were born with the ability to change someone's life. Don't ever waste it." How about that? Great job, Natalie Phillips. Happy birthday, Natalie Phillips. If you didn't know, we do have hashtag Rise and Grind planners. Those planners have quotes at the top of every single page that are submitted by actual Rise and Grind members. The new 2021 planners are out. You can go to riseandgrindplanner.com and get yourself one. If you use the code CYBERWEEK through today, you can save 20% on that planner. That'll be the last discount. They won't be discounted again until like June of next year. So if you haven't done your bulk order, if you want to order a bunch for your team, now's a great time to do that. Just use the code CYBERWEEK. Go to riseandgrindplanner.com. You can get you a planner. You're going to want to do that. Trust me. All right, get those orders in. You guys ready to dive in? Let's dive in. African culture. Super excited. Let's go.
It's time for Christmas. I'm so excited. And I loved getting to research how Christmas is celebrated in Africa. I ran across this YouTube channel called BOA54, which stands for Beauty of Africa. And 54 represents the 54 countries in the continent. These ladies share so much amazing information and have a mission to represent Africa positively. They also have a couple of videos about how Christmas is celebrated in Africa. An amazing point that they had is, hey, there's 54 different countries in Africa, so technically there's 54 different ways that they celebrate this holiday. I wanted to pull out one major thing that I learned from these young ladies and about this culture is Christmas overall is spent focusing on the community, and people spend time with people in their community, not just their own family. Which got me to thinking, what are ways that you and I could reach our community this holiday season? How can we pull from that African tradition of being involved in the community, giving gifts to the community like I heard they do? There's so much that you and I could pull from that. So what are some creative ideas of ways we can bless our community this holiday season? I'm going to give you 12 that I researched and really loved, but there's so many different ways. Comment, let us know your favorite way to impact the community during the holiday season. Number 1, babysit and help out a single parent. Now I know this might be a little bit tricky with the, what's going on, but if there's a way to safely help out a single parent during this holiday season, that's a great idea. And even gift cards go a long way. I love this one. This one's fun. Leave a surprise in a library book. Boop, boop. You can have a positive note or maybe even a gift card to some random stranger who will never know who left them something so generous. Write a positive review for a local business. This will take about 5 minutes of your time, and if you've had a good experience with someone in your community, take a moment and leave them an honest review. It will make their day. Now this one's a popular one this year. I love it. Leaving gifts for UPS and FedEx workers, people who are delivering day and night to our doorsteps. They're so busy right now. Leaving some snacks and just a nice note is so kind and generous. Woo, we got 2 more. You ready? Brighten up a dreary spot in your city. Of course, you have to get permission from the local authorities, whoever that may be. But if there's an area in your town that might need some brightening up, or you can even take sidewalk chalk and write fun notes on it. That's a really unique way to make a difference in your community. And lastly, help someone get active. If there is a friend or a family member and you're able to be an accountability partner, help them get outside, go on a walk or a run. That is so great for our own mental health. So we can spread that generosity by getting outside and being active, again, safely with those that you love. So those are 6 ways that you can bless and give back to your community this holiday season. Again, I'm pulling this from the African tradition of spending time not only with your friends and your family, but also getting out and investing with our tribe, our community. I absolutely love that. I'll be back with 6 more ideas. I did 12 of them. But between now and then, comment, let us know what's a fun, creative way that we can give back to our community.
Ubuntu. I am because you are. A philosophy that states that we are one. What happens to you matters to me. I truly love this idea and concept, and I find it fascinating, literally fascinating, that Ubuntu comes from a a continent made up of 54 different unique countries. I want you to think about that for just a second. All right, here we are in North America. We literally have 3 countries. Well, I'm sorry, there's more than 3 in North America. But there's 3 major countries, right? You've got Mexico, you've got United States, you've got Canada. Then, of course, as we get a little bit lower, we've got Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, Belize, Guatemala, El Salvador, a couple Caribbean countries. Puerto Rico's in there with my man Julio Soto, right? But this is what North America looks like. Now let's go back to, for those of you that are listening on podcast, obviously you might have to Google that or look that up yourself if you don't know what North America looks like. If you're watching on YouTube, I appreciate you. Make sure you connect with me there, subscribe, all that good stuff, all right? But when we look at Africa, we're talking about 54 unique countries. And each country has its own rich culture. Each country has its own history. Each country has its own belief systems and even different languages across all the different countries. So in some parts of the country, in Nigeria, we have 206 million people. It's the most populated part of the country. And South Africa has 60 million people. There's a place called Kenya that has 54 million people in Kenya, which is crazy. Ethiopia has 115 million people that live in that area. You've got Egypt, which has got 102 million different people in Egypt, and not to mention the 89 million people that live in the Congo. And overall, you're looking at 1.2 billion people that live across these 54 different countries. Now that's double what we have in North America. North America roughly has 600 million people, according to Google. I didn't count them myself, so I'm not 100% sure. But according to Google, North America has roughly 600 million people. Africa has 1.2 billion. So we're talking twice as many people in this country, right? Crowded in many, many, many areas, impoverished in many areas, undeveloped in many areas. And yet, even with the overcrowdedness, even with epidemics like AIDS that are still killing millions of people across that continent every single day, even with all of these issues, they have this idea of Ubuntu. I am because you are. This idea of oneness. I find it fascinating and beautiful. Literally beautiful. Like what would the people of our country here in America, what are most of them saying? What would most of them say? Like, imagine your traffic is doubled. Imagine you don't have current marvels of medicine in certain areas. Imagine if you didn't have access to those things, right? You think you complain about traffic now, right? Like, let's double it. Just double the traffic, double the people, double the congestion, double everything. In our country, I feel like that brings out more division, tends to bring out more anger and animosity. But yet there they see the oneness of it. I think it's fascinating and beautiful. There's so much we can learn from this country. Now, over in Africa, not only do you have 1.2 billion people across 54 different countries, but you also have different languages. The primary language in Africa is actually English. The government uses English, and English is actually spoken pretty much everywhere in across the continent of Africa. However, the traditional languages, you have Swahili is the most spoken language. You also have something called Afrikaans, which is a language there. And then, of course, you have Zulu, and there's other languages that are spoken across the continent. And we're going to have a little fun with some words. So I want some participation out of you right now. I want you to say Inuka. Right? Say it with me one time. Say Inuka. And that means rise in Swahili. Now I want you to say Ma'al. Ma'al. M-A-A-L. Ma'al. And that means grind in Afrikaan. So Inuka Ma'al means rise and grind. How about that? Can you say it? Can you say Inuka Ma'al? That's rise and grind. See, we go to Africa and just be like, Inuka Ma'al. inuka ma'o, right? And that would be rise and grind. Over there in Africa, we're combining two languages, but it just sounds really cool, right? So all these different languages, all these different cultures, all these different people, all in this area, and they believe in this thing called Ubuntu. Now, with much diversity, of course, right, when you have so much diversity in an area, there come a ridiculous amounts of wisdom, I believe. So there are literally thousands of African proverbs. If you ever get a chance, just go today, just Google like African proverbs, just Google that and it'll pop up words of wisdom like you wouldn't believe. There's so much wisdom that comes out of this country. It's absolutely incredible. And so I've been reading a bunch of the African proverbs lately and figuring out where they can apply in my life and what I can share with you here on the show. And I've got some fascinating ones. Some you've recognized and seen before, right? Like when you've heard a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, that actually came from the Swahili culture in Africa. And obviously they're regarding to what they're referring to is don't be focused on what you don't have. Be thankful for what you have. Having that one bird in the hand is worth the two that are over there. Like, don't worry about those, right? Having that one in the hand is powerful. So you've heard that saying before. That's an African proverb. Comes from the Swahili culture. It's been around for a really long time. Another one that you've maybe heard of is that blood is thicker than water. This talks to the family ties when it comes to culturally tying our families and making sure that we're always there for our families no matter what. That blood, if you're part of our bloodline, we will support you, we will encourage you, we will lift you, we will love you, even if we don't necessarily like you. Another one that you might not have heard, and I don't know how well this one will go over in America, and just a little quick disclosure here before I say this one out loud. This comes from the African culture. This is an ancient proverb they've used to instill wisdom into their children for a really long time. So I want you to hear this one right here. This one's fascinating. It says, if a child cries for a razor blade, give it to him. And what this is saying is like, man, if they're going to, like, once they hurt themselves, if they hurt themselves, they'll learn. They won't cry for it anymore. So if your child's crying for the razor blade, hand it to him. Allow him to cut himself or herself and let them learn the wisdom that comes through pain. Now, I don't know how Child Protective Services would feel about that here in America, but I also know I've seen some bad mamma jamma little kids in this country that maybe somebody not I'm just gonna stop right there before I get myself in trouble. But I love that particular proverb. There's another one that says, a guest is only a guest on the first day. On the second day, give him a hoe so that he can cultivate the field. Now, this is the one that I want you to use going into the holidays, right? Here we are going into Christmas. I want you to look at your family members, be like, yo, you were a guest on day one. Appreciate you in the house. Now, here you go. I need you out there in the backyard. We've been trying to dig a fire pit for a while. We've got some things on the garage. There's a panel on the garage door that needs to be fixed. We've got some issues with the plumbing, right? Put them to work. I love that proverb. That's a great one too, right? It's a powerful one. And speaking of powerful one, here's one that I really want to share with you. There's a proverb that says, if you see something floating, know that it was made or designed. Otherwise, it would sink. All things that float were designed with purpose and intention by a creator. And I think that that's powerful. Because maybe you're just floating around, your head just a little bit above water during this season. Maybe you're floating a little bit financially. Maybe you're floating spiritually. Maybe you're floating mentally. But I want you to remember that in essence, the essence of this is if you're floating, then you were created. You were designed. You have worth and you have value. That you are part of this thing called Ubuntu. And the decisions that ultimately you make, they matter. You see, you're a part of something bigger, my friend. A part of something bigger, a part of something beautiful. You see, you are a child of God, the God of the universe, the God that made everything. And that God made you to be the absolute best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Because see, the decisions that you make, they matter. They make an impact on your friends. They make an impact on your family members. You choosing to be here with me this morning, listening to this podcast or on YouTube or on Facebook, it makes an impact on me. See, we're all one. We're all connected. Your worth and your value comes from the fact that you were made by design. You have a creator. You are a child of God. And as that, my brother and my sister, I absolutely love you. If nobody's told you that yet today, I want to be the first. Dude, I absolutely stinking love you. I truly, truly do. Ubuntu. Incredible. Listen, if you need more videos like this, you can go to GlennLundy.com. That's right, you can go to GlennLundy.com. If you haven't done so already, or if you want to get some group planners or a planner for a friend or a family member or any of those things, go to RISEANDGRINDPlanner.com. Use the code CYBERWEEK. You can use that today and get 20% off. Today will be the last day to do that. Just between me and you. Just letting you know. But most importantly, will you do me a huge favor? Will you come back here again tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m.? Because we're going to do this all over again. We're going to continue with African Culture Week. We're going to dive into African American culture. I believe that's on Thursday. We're going to go through some more proverbs. It's going to be incredible. So make sure you come back. Maybe invite a friend. Come back here on #RiseAndGrind. Have an incredible day. See ya.
On my feet before the sunrise. Step into my greatest, feeling powerful, energized. Able to be alive. #blessed. Write my vision, vision, values, and my gratitude list. I'm building up momentum. I'm making good decisions. I rise, I grind, I get it. Ain't no doubt that I'm committed. Cause who really loses if I don't win? Can't cheat the grind, only get what you put in. So I'm mastering my mental. I'm focused on my physical. I'm developing spiritually and manifesting miracles. I'm gonna get it started, have a party in the morning, and I'ma wake the world is so alarming. I #RiseAndGrind, #RiseAndGrind. First thing on my mind, early in the morning time. Daily motivation, feeling so divine. Waking up the nation. #RiseAndGrind, #RiseAndGrind. Grind, grind. #RiseAndGrind, grind, grind. #RiseAndGrind. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up every